The content you're about to hear is a part of a paid programming segment. The views, opinions, and statements expressed belong solely to the sponsor and do not reflect those of Podcastic or its host. This segment is for informational and promotional purposes only and should not be considered as advice or endorsement. Listener discretion is advised.
Check. 1, 2 for the mind state. Dez Cortez and Emory Law. Welcome to the show. Y'all tuned in now. Hit record. Time to make it real. This that one show, mentally ill. We don't hide, we just chill. We say the kind of things that you feel. Raw talk from the couch to the curb. Every dark thought from the city to the burbs. From panics on Belle Isle, we even picking up calls. We unpack it all, no mask, no filter at all. Dez say, how you been? Low say, man, where I begin. From meds on the sink, to nights you overthink. We drag it to the light, let it blink.
This is mentally ill. Say it out loud till it pop like the steel. We ain't running from the pain, we real. Every scar that you hide, we reveal. This is mentally ill. Talk that truth, let the shame stand still. If your mind feel heavy, just chill. Press play, pull up a chair, we heal.
We talk therapy, thirst traps break.
Yeah. What up, though? Man, welcome to another episode of Mentally Ill. Of course, I am Dez Cortez, and we have a very, very special show. So I really don't need to take up much of your time. We need to hear from our guest. But our guest is a cosmic channel, high vibe music artist, intuitive development coach, spiritual wellness specialist, multi-dimensional healer, holistic healer, a psychic, a galactic shaman, an alchemist, and an entrepreneur. Miss Rissa Vibes, how are you?
I'm so good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Maybe turn it up just a little bit, but yeah, dope, man. It's really, really dope to have you on. We had a chance to talk in LA. And I wanted to make sure that I got you on here just because the impression that you left on me. And I told you how people around my area really need to hear from you, you know, because I got a lot of people who look like you. And then you were like, well, I'm really not far from your area. So that was dope, too. So tell me about growing up there or just explain the early you. Let's start before everything starts to unfold for you.
Sure, yeah. So I was born in Battle Creek, Michigan, and I grew up there kind of. A lot of my family's from there still even, and kind of more parts of Indiana now. But then I, at a pretty young age, moved to California, San Fernando Valley. I was in the Northridge, San Fernando Valley earthquake when I was like 4. And so kind of grew up mainly on the West Coast from there, Thousand Oaks, Agoura Hills, and the Valley, and then moved to Arizona shortly after that and spent most of my life there. And now I'm in Atlanta, so I've been kind of all over the place. I've even lived in like Washington State and things like that too. But yeah, early me was just like a really fun, bubbly little girl who just was always adventuring in the world. I was always really big in nature. So I always had like, this is weird, but I always had like insects for friends, like roly-polies and stuff. And like, I was like kind of a weirdo. I wasn't really like, I was social, but I think I was a little bit outcast even from a young age. I knew I was kind of different. So I found more comfort in like the natural world and nature and animals and bugs and yeah, just kind of playful in that way. And obviously my connection to spirit was already really strong there. So I kind of had a lot of that occupying my time too.
That's dope. And same here. Like I was very different. Like everybody wanted to go to the party. Like I wanted to go fishing or hiking or something of that nature. And I was always going towards the natural part of everything when everybody really wanted to be just city boys. One more thing too. So like you spoke, or you didn't speak of, I actually read that you were able to see spirits at an early age. Talk about that for me.
Yeah, so my earliest experience seeing spirit was probably right around, I was probably like 4 or 5. I would see people's energy fields, and sometimes I would actually see spirit figures. And so when I would go to church, a lot of times I would see a lot of things. Like I would see like angels or light forming. It almost looked like people, but it was formed by light.
Gotcha.
And then I would often like see people's energy. Like a lot of times in church, I would kind of like say something to somebody that I felt like I needed to say, and then they would be like really shocked that I knew that they were going through a divorce, or that they were feeling sad, or they were upset about something. So I kind of always had that perception, and I feel like people could recognize it in me, because I would have a lot of times like adults would kind of look at me in the church and be like, oh, she's got so much light, like she's blah blah, but they didn't know. I don't know. It was kind of weird. I don't know if they knew what they were picking up on either, really.
No, they used to always tell my mom when I was younger, you know, he's anointed. They said I was talking in tongues before I even knew how to speak and those type of things. So it was just, you know, those crazy. Like as I look back on those things and what's going on now, I kind of see how it was opening up for me. But I knew nothing of that, you know. I was raised strict Christian in the house, you know what I mean? So I had a few imaginary friends that they would call them, which I had as my guys, but I didn't know that at the time. So like, did your family, was they like good with it? Like, did they outcast you? How did that work?
It's kind of like what you described. Same thing. Like my family would always tell me it was like imaginary friends, or it was a dream, or things like that. And they would tell me to just go pray, and it would like go away. Because some of the things I experienced, I was afraid of. I didn't understand it, so I was afraid. And when I would go pray about it, the angels would talk to me more, and so it was like I was opening more of that portal. And so it wasn't really helping, per se, like it wasn't making them go away. So it's kind of confusing. So yeah, for the majority of my life, I kind of learned to either just disregard my visions and my intuition as something imaginary, because that's what I was told, or to just try to pretend it wasn't happening and try to ignore it.
And you ignored it until you got to school and studying psychology, right? Did you ignore it until then, or did you go into it kind of trying to figure out more about it?
Yeah, so right around like 7 or 8 years old, I had my first alien encounter where I was abducted. Me and my mom were abducted. It was during the Northern Lights, so it was mixed. And so that day, right before, like the night before, the night of, we were driving from California to Arizona. We were moving there for my stepdad's job transfer, and we were driving, and I was seeing the lights happen, the Northern Lights happen, and me and my mom were watching it through the window as we were driving. And I was begging my mom. I was like, "We have to get out of the car and like check this out." And she tried to ignore me for a little while, but I was incessant. So I forced us to stop. And all I remember is us walking like kind of across into this big open field. You know, if you've ever driven from California to Arizona, you know, there's just like a lot of open space. I'm having like tech issues on my side, but it might be the aliens.
Right. They're like, hey, they talk about me.
Usually when I share these experiences, that kind of thing happens. But we're also in a Mercury retrograde, so it could be that. But anyway, so we're walking into the field, and within like 10 steps, I'm teleported into a ship, and I'm laying on this like metal table, and there's just a lot of white light, and I can't really make out the figures that are above me, but they're kind of like, I couldn't feel them touching me, but I could tell that they were like examining me in some way. Not anything creepy. It didn't feel like they were doing me any harm. It just looked like they were checking on me, like checking up on me. And I remember having like this telepathic communication with them, which they were galactic beings. They were kind of like white light coated galactic beings. And I was like, what's going on? Like, where's my mom? And they were just communicating with me about it. They were just like, you're fine. Your mom is over here. And then as they told me she was okay, I saw her being led by two beings down a hallway, and she was kind of in like a complete trance. She was just really, really out of it. And they told me she wasn't going to remember because she decided that she didn't want to carry on her assignment with them, but that if I wanted to still carry on my assignment, I could agree to that, and I would remember. And so I agreed to it. And then ever since then, I've had like really significant galactic experiences.
That's so dope.
Yeah. I don't even
think it's dope. People see
that,
No, I'm just very happy that you're saying things like this, because when I talk about this, like people, they look at me and I can automatically tell, like they think I'm crazy. You know what I mean? Like, because you know, no one talks about those type of things around me, but I have a lot of that activity happening. You know what I mean? And there's really nobody who don't think I'm crazy. So it's just great to hear that from you. You know what I mean? And it's great to see like those type of things are happening to others. And okay, if it's somebody who's trying to break into it, or somebody who think they have like these type of, which everybody can have these gifts, but if somebody may be feeling something that they never felt before, or something that they feel is paranormal or not normal, like, what do you suggest? How would they go about figuring out exactly what it is?
Yeah, so great question. I mean, I learned over time that the best method is to not be afraid, because it's easy to be afraid, but it's not necessary. There's nothing that can hurt you. Like, you know, a lot of movies will tell you different. You know, there's all these movies of like, you know, beings or things hurting humans, or if it's ghosts or whatever, hurting humans. And that can't really happen. They can't really transcend the physical realm like that. But they are fueled by your fear. If it's a darker energy, if it's a positive energy, there's nothing really to be afraid of. It's mainly you just not understanding what's happening that's causing you to have fear. And really oftentimes obviously the good spirits are wanting to give you messages and wanting to help you in some way, or help somebody close to you that you're able to help with their guidance. So, if you're having those experiences, don't be afraid and trust it, because that's your intuition speaking to you. And there's a reason why you picked up that signal. And be curious, take an inner child perspective, don't allow the adult mind of fear and seriousness of what this could mean and a heaviness take over you. Instead, stay lighthearted, stay curious, stay excited to understand why this is happening and what's there. And that's when you're going to get the majority of your answer as to what it is, why, and what it wants to connect with you about.
And so, because I really, really want people to lose the fear. And when I first started to communicate with spirit, that was one of the things that left me. It was almost as if they turned it off in me, not wanting to go find something, or not wanting to go here or do this, or they really kind of took that away from me. Also, they took away the feeling of ever being alone. It's impossible, for me to be alone, even if I wanted to. So those are some things that I really, really, really want the people who are my listeners to really sink in and understand, that there is help. Not only is there help, you're going to understand these things, understand why they happen, how they're happening. And most of the time you're going to realize, man, I was really just causing this ruckus on my own.
Right.
So that's another reason that I want to really get people into these type of states and having these type of conversations. So Rissa, if you can't just in your own words, what do you do? Like, if you can put it like into like a nutshell.
Yeah. Yeah. So I help people tap into their intuitive gifts, and I help them navigate their spiritual journey with grace and ease and support. You know, I have a degree in psychology, and I have experience as a therapist and counselor, behavioral health technician, and things like that. So I kind of blend the psychological with the spiritual to help people make sense of what's happening in their life when they encounter spirit, and also just help them navigate the journey of like being aware of energy and being aware of other people's emotions and being sensitive to that, and even navigating the current times energetically and spiritually. And I use a series of things. I mean, I was raised Christian, and I still consider myself Christian, even though I think some people might have kicked me out based on their own beliefs. But I also know how to have conversations with people like that and explain to them that this is all God, and you know, it is a connection that we have to God that allows for us to have this intuition. I really believe that intuition is our most innate survival skill, and it's what God gifted us to help us navigate through not just the things on the physical realm, but beyond that, and help us to experience what's beyond that, which is all God's creation. And so, yeah, I mean, I do readings, I do past life regressions, mediumship, energy cleanses. I'm a Reiki master as well. I host retreats and events and workshops. And then I counsel and coach people. But I'm also a high vibe musician. So my music, like my music, hip hop, soul pop, I call it hippie soul, is kind of, it's the music is the way to express a lot of these things where it doesn't feel so heavy and thick.
Hey, my people, I'm gonna let y'all know. I went to a Rissa Vibes concert, bro. Listen, go look at all the videos, all the music. Please, you thank me later. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank me later, because it is very high vibrational. But what I like about it too is people are able to be sensual. People are able to love themselves and not put themselves in a box or feel like they're this type of person or this type of person. Because, you know, I did Christian rap as a teenager, you know what I mean? If I felt like I was sexually exploiting something or doing something like that, I would have thought that I was sinning. But when I went to that, it was such a freeness at your concert, and anybody who wanted to express themselves in any way. I saw some of the wildest things I've ever saw in my life, but everybody was so happy. Yeah. And it was just such a dope experience. But yeah, I want people also to know that you can be conscious and really understand who you are and be who you are. And that's what I like about it too. So yeah,
that's so much of the journey I feel like that I help people with, is just being okay with the experiences they've had authentically and who they are authentically, and getting rid of the fear and the doubt and the resistance to that and the judgment that they have on themselves and even their experiences that they were conditioned to have, you know. And when we free ourselves of that, then we really do, I feel like, open up to a deeper connection with God and source and the creator, you know, all synonymous terms in my head. But yeah.
That's dope. And I mean, I want people to open themselves up, because I had a surprise, you would say, experience with Jesus, you know what I mean? And this is when I was really, I had lost my faith, you know what I mean, as far as that goes. But he let me know that he was real, of course, but also he taught me what he really was teaching and what he really was about. And it just changed everything that I thought about him. It was, in my eyes, so much more beautiful. And it went from me having faith to like knowing exactly who this was, and that this was a person who walked this earth and now is helping. You know what I mean? Like, it felt so good to really, really see that.
What did he tell you? I'm so curious, because I'm like a huge Jesus person. Like, I love Jesus.
And wait, and you channel Mary.
I do. I have. Yes. I've channeled Yeshua as well before, but
let's call him his real name. Yeshua.
Yeah,
call him his real name.
Yeshua quite a few times, but Mary more so. Yeah.
Because he talked about Mary way more than I ever would have thought he did. He was about her.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was communicating with like another Indian or whatever, and we were talking about him, and I had said something like, yeah, and he was with Mary and you can like hear these in the background like, and I still am, like, I'm still with her. Like, and people like, just, first of all, the way he speaks, how funny he is. Just to make the long story short, it was a bunch of different things that happened that led to me riding by myself. A few things happened on the way there, but I filled up. I got back in the car, started to drive, and I felt the presence. Now, I've had other experiences where I felt presences and had guys and stuff there, so I wasn't, I wasn't scared or anything. I kind of knew what was about to happen. But I did not know this was about to happen. So I felt the presence, and I felt him there next to me. And then he said, the first words he said was, I am the one you call Jesus. And from there, he pretty much talked about the beginning of his life past this went on for about at least 4 hours or so. From the beginning of his life all the way to after, when he was with Mary, after he was dead. You know what I mean? Like, he literally gave me all that information in that time. So I could, like, if anybody like asks me a question, it's better for me to grab, because as I was saying, like, as he was talking, I was trying to capture this stuff and I wasn't doing it well. It's like, so when he talked about Ananda. Yeah, so he talked about that, but so I thought he said Amanda. So I went and I Googled Amanda, and I'm like, Jesus and Amanda, just like, and like nothing was coming. So it was a few things that I like heard that I really didn't understand. 'Cause like I said, he was like going so fast or whatever. But at the same time, it was a load of information, and I knew like it was like at the time I was like, wow, like when I tell this information to everyone, like this is going to, like, and then of course I started to think about like how people were going to take it, how many friends I was going to lose, how many family members I was going to lose, and all those other good things. But at the same time, it's just been a burning passion that he said I signed up to talk about a long time ago. So
yeah, I love that.
So it was like he was there. He didn't leave until I had to fill back up again. And I thought he was going to come back after that because I still had like a nice little ride going, but he didn't. But at the same time, what he gave me was just magical. And what's crazy too is, now, if this tied in, it got to be tied in because he joked about it with me before. I only had a few grays, like in my beard or whatever, before this. The grays just start pouring in my beard after it. Also, too, I lost my hair about, I say, between 15 and 20 years ago. Crohn's disease situations, different things like that. My hair has been growing back ever since that day. And I'm so excited about having some hair. You have no idea. I'm in the mirror every morning, like, oh, that one wasn't there yesterday. That one wasn't there yesterday. Like, oh man, because and I really didn't know how much it meant to me to like lose that, and lose it like in that way. But so I've been just telling people what he's told me ever since, and some can take it and some can't. But to just actually have a person who's also had those type of experiences and not looking at me like I'm crazy, is really dope feeling to have. And I'm sure other people who are having these things happen are happy to see a person like you also having them, do you got like, you want to know anything about the situation, or I want to also know more about like when you were channeling them, so we can go however you want to do it.
I feel called to answer your original question now that I remember, which was like, you know, had I had all those experiences and did I shut it down at some point? So after I had the abduction experience, right around when I was like 10 or 11, I was in the Girl Scouts and I went on this camping trip, but it was like in this big camping ground. So there was big buildings that we would sleep in. And one of the buildings we were sleeping in at the time, it was all the Girl Scouts and then all the chaperones all in one building. And we were all like on the floor in our sleeping bag. And I got woken up out of the middle of the night and I felt that energy of like presence of something there. And everybody was asleep. It was pitch black out in the building. And then I looked up and the ceiling was covered in angels, like golden figures that were hovering over everybody. And it was like everybody's guardian angels. And it terrified me because it was one of those things that like I could actually see. And I was also, you know, old enough at that time to where everything my mom told me was imaginary when I was a kid. I was able to brush it off. But now I'm, you know, a 10 or 11-year-old kid. And I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. I know I'm seeing this. I'm awake. This is not something I'm imagining. And I didn't understand what to do about it or what to do with it. So I just kind of prayed for it to go away. And then I didn't have many experiences like that until I got older, after, you know, kind of going through a dark night of the soul with substance abuse and kind of numbing myself from those experiences and from that gift, because I was terrified and I didn't understand it. So then when I got older and I got clean from the opiates I was abusing.
Can we talk about that in a minute? Because a lot of my viewers are going through that. My father had an opioid addiction my whole life. So I've experienced it firsthand, you know, and he had a pretty bad one. So I've definitely experienced it. So can you talk about your fight with it, if you don't mind?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of what drew me to just substance abuse in general was me, you know, in hindsight, I realized this. At the time, I didn't realize it, but I was a kid who felt different, who always knew she was different, who never really felt like anybody had an explanation of why I was different or what was going on with me. And so after just a lot of those experiences of not feeling understood, I gravitated towards a bunch of other kids that didn't feel like they were understood. And that also included, you know, parties and drugs. It started with cannabis and then it turned to cocaine and then it turned to pills of whatever kind and, you know, ecstasy or whatever. And then that's when I kind of was introduced to opiates. And it was through like my first relationship with somebody. And you know, he had been doing it, but I didn't know. And we would just party whenever I'd be in town. I was in a long distance relationship with him. And we'd just be partying. And then eventually I would be doing those same substances after the party and for a couple days after and a couple more days after. And then I'd come back to Arizona where I was in college and I would, you know, do my studies and stuff. And then I'd go back and do the same thing. And eventually I moved out there. It was to Washington State at the time. And that's when the party kind of started because I was there and then never ended. And so I kind of just kept doing these pills. And eventually I was a pretty functioning addict. I was like still going to college and getting good grades. I was still working and making money and, you know, taking care of the house, taking care of myself. But it was interesting because at the time I was studying psychology and I was in an abnormal psychology class and we talked about addiction. And in the chapters that we were talking about addiction, I was like, oh, this sounds like me. So I kind of had a realization that I was struggling with addiction when I was studying it. And so otherwise I probably wouldn't have realized that was what was going on until I tried to stop. And then that's when when I found out what was going on, I tried to stop and then I recognized I was physically dependent on it. And so that, you know, was a whole experience. I had a lot of different experiences, but I abused that for about 4 years total. But like I said, I had been kind of using substances as a way to numb myself from my experiences and my sensitivities to energy since I was like, 13, 14. So I think that happens a lot. And I think that a lot of times we don't realize that when we turn to substances, it's not only to try to numb ourselves from the trauma we've experienced, but it's also an attempt to numb ourselves from the different abilities we have and the sensitivity to energy that we have that we don't understand. And so when I got clean, I ended up having an incredible struggle with anxiety. I was having panic attacks and anxiety issues for so long after I got clean. And I was really frustrated because I was like, okay, I cleaned my life up and now I'm dealing with this, like what's going on? And so I tried to get help and treatment, counseling, medical treatment, anti-anxiety medications. Nothing was working. And so I ended up having a friend at the time who her mom did readings. And I was like, I don't know about that. I was taught in my faith, like that's weird and not okay. And she was like, honestly, nothing's working for you. And like, wouldn't you rather have an answer? Plus my mom only connects with angels. She's also Christian. Like it's totally not anything creepy. And I was like, all right, let me try it. And that reading changed my life. The woman gave me, literally told me my whole life story. She's like, you've had this gift since you were little. You've never understood it. You've always been afraid of it. You tried to push it away. It went away for a little bit. But now that you are done kind of drowning yourself in substances, you're being called to your purpose, and you need to use your gifts for what they were meant for, which is to help people. And these are gifts from God, and you are having this anxiety because you are feeling the energy that you're picking up on and the spirits that you're picking up on, but you don't have a way to translate that. You're kind of learning how to regain that ability after shutting it down. And so she's like, take these cards. These were actually the exact deck that she gave me. I still have them today. They've got little angel wings on them. So I was like, okay, I guess this is okay. And she's like, anytime you feel anxious, pull one of these cards and it's going to help you to understand what is trying to communicate with you and what it's trying to communicate with you about. And your anxiety should go away because you're translating the energy you're feeling instead of kind of holding it in and imploding from inside. And so I started doing that and it worked, and I was fascinated. And that's what really helped me to realize that my gift was actually something that could help me and that it was actually okay. And I just studied everything from that point. I really feel like spirit kind of took over from that point and just led me down like several training boot camps, from meditation to crystals to yoga to chakras to channeling to aliens and everything else. I mean, I had already pretty much gone through the alien boot camp younger after the abduction, but and so I just kind of got led in that way. And I thought I was going to be a psychologist and have my own private practice, and now I use my psychology with my gifts and provide a completely different, kind of practice. But it's still kind of all what I thought I was going to do, just a lot different.
Yeah, I was like, you're a lot more than the psychiatrist.
I would have been cool with the basic life of a psychologist, because being weird like this is not always easy. But I'm happy.
Who you telling?
I've surrendered to God's plan, and this is God's plan, so I'm grateful.
That's dope. One of you do past life regressions.
Yeah.
I don't know why my tongue is so tired.
Yeah, I kind of like.
My tongue is just so tired today.
No, it's okay. I put my own spin on it, so yeah.
What's your own spin?
Yeah, so I do past life regressions, which is like the traditional term, but then I also do parallel life progressions. So I help people, and that's kind of what you had last time.
Okay, that's what I had.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Past life, and we regress to that, and we explore that. But then before we're done with the session, we also tap into the future self, the present self, and the future selves.
Right.
They're parallel realities or timelines of our life that want to integrate with us right now, just to kind of get a complete picture instead of just in the past. Because I feel like there's a lot more to integrate.
Yeah, because when I saw my past, I went back far. So. I mean, I understand what's going on, but I think just the average person would have been a little nervous if they, saw what I saw. But at the same time, they'll let you know when you need to know. But just the interaction with my higher self also was, oh man, it was just such a dope experience. And, you know, just like another friend, like it's, you know, it's your higher self, but it's, you know, you can get them on that friend level. And when you do, like you really won't even think about what these people, I would say, on earth do. Like you're not worried about it no more. And that's what I would tell a lot of people, like the calm that comes with this is like second to none. And one of the things that like Jesus made me feel is like, it's like you don't have to know anything. Like you don't have to have anything. Everything is inside of you. And he said to me, one of the only times that we like looked at each other or whatever, he said, I can never be as proud of you as I am right now. And nobody had ever said that to me. And hearing that from him, it just gave me this sense of like what else do I need to worry about? But also understanding that I never needed to worry about that anyway. So I do want people to have the opportunity to do these things. And one thing is starting with the cards. So let's go ahead and talk about them.
Yeah, so I made my own deck. So
yeah, and I bought them.
Everybody knows my story. I ended up making my own deck, you know, fast forward 12 years of doing this work and going through that experience. And now I teach people how to access their intuition, and the cards are such a great tool for that. I use oracle cards, not tarot, because tarot is a little different. I feel like tarot, you know, has its own system and it's very etched in past history. And sometimes that can create some heaviness or even some distortion of energy. But I think there's a lot of, it's really dependent on the channel, the person who's pulling them. So it's like everything in spiritual realm is about the intention.
Okay.
And intention is to connect to God. It's the connection to spirit, connection to source, connection to the highest frequency things. Then that's what you're going to get.
One thing that I like, just before you go, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The feeling of everyone understanding your intentions first.
Yeah.
I've never felt that either. So just not having to explain myself, not having to be nothing or try to know, just they know exactly the love like that. That's something I want everybody to experience.
Yeah.
Because you're not worrying about nothing, like you see everything. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's just something I just had to say, because that's just one of the most amazing feelings that I've ever had, that I want people to make sure that they have too, where people can just see who you are, what you are, why you here, all that right then and there. So if you're a person of love, then that's something that you should welcome. That's for damn sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that's misconstrued in the spiritual community versus the religious community, is that a lot of religious communities and theology is based in this condemnation and judgment instead of what I believe Jesus was really here to teach us, which is God is love. And when you look at everybody with that eye, with that lens, like see people through God's eyes as the creator, like, okay, this person was created on earth for something special and was created so beautifully and divinely. Then when you look at somebody like that, you can easily tell their intention. And also, you know, even things with like cards and crystals and meditation, you can see God in everything. And all of these things become a tool to connect with God more versus something that's condemned as, a distraction from him. Because I use these cards and I pray, I connect with God, and I say, I want God's will and God's message to come through these cards so that I can understand what God's trying to tell me better, or that my clients can understand what God's trying to tell them better through me, through the cards as a tool. So, when you have that intention, and I'm not going to pretend like every reader and every psychic is intentioned that way. They're not everybody has good intentions. But being able to sharpen your intuition with practice and with acceptance that you have it and with utilization of it will help you discern the difference. And that's huge versus using like a set of rigid beliefs that kind of blanket everything under something that's not okay, when really it's not that. It's it's your intuition that's going to be able to tell the difference if you allow it to.
Man, absolutely. And I can't wait for people to really understand and learn that. So with the cards, now I haven't cleansed my cards yet. I haven't saged them yet.
Yeah.
And I haven't did the like prayer over each one of them yet. So I kind of don't know if I really want to mess with them until I do that. But
that's okay. Yeah. I've got mine, and so I can
show people how to use them, please.
Yeah. So on my website, you can go to www.rissavibes.com and get your card deck in the product section. But I also have a video on there on how to use your deck, how to even pick a deck if you don't end up getting this deck. You can, if you have another deck you resonate with, you can get, and how to bless them and how to set a good intention with them and just kind of declare them as the tool that they are. And so this is the first time I'm actually pulling from this deck after cleansing them already. So I'll get rid of the info cards. But so essentially what you want to do whenever you have your deck is you want to, after you bless them, cleanse them, set the intentions for them, connected with them. I usually will hold them to my heart and just kind of feel the energy, because everything's energy. So just allowing my heart to connect with the cards as a tool to feel and hear God's word and message more. And then, you can just shuffle them however you want to shuffle them, which we already got a card falling out. But yeah, just shuffling however you want to shuffle them for whatever message. So right now I'm just kind of asking for a general message for this audience, whatever is meant to be shared. And then cards will either fly out like they just did, or they'll kind of like that, or they'll kind of pop out of the deck. And so, let's see what we got. So we have 3 different cards. The first one is, this one is the Rituals of Righteousness card. And so this is all about really connecting to a spiritual practice that feels aligned to you, and to be open to that being something that you do consistently to help you connect deeper with spirit. So it's also about initiation. So it says you are undergoing an initiation. A new level of magic is flowing through you now. Do a simple ritual to honor and affirm your new gifts and new intentions. Though things may feel unknown or mysterious, know this: you are right where you need to be. And then each card also comes with an affirmation to bring that energy in more. And so the affirmation is, I allow the highest vibrational ritual and magic to flow through me as the vessel that I am. And a ritual can be as simple as a prayer. It can be a meditation. It could be a journaling. It could be, setting an intention and lighting a candle. Whatever you could get as, mystic as you want or as religious as you want. It's all beautiful, whatever you're called to do. And then the second one is hone your home frequency, which I love for this, because everybody has an energetic fingerprint. And that energetic fingerprint is your unique energy signature. It's your unique energy expression. And when you can meditate enough to feel what your natural, authentic energy expression is, then you'll always know when something is interfering with it. And you'll also always know when you're feeling something from an energy that's not you. So that's also really helpful. I think I just turned my light off. Sorry, guys. So this says, a ripple like the tide, a buzzing like the cosmos. It's time to reconnect with your unique energetic fingerprint. Allow yourself to identify and bask in the beauty of your own natural essence. Honor the fact that there is no one and nothing that carries the same vibration as you. And the affirmation is, I am divinely and uniquely created by source. There is nothing that can compare to my vibe. And so that's just so true in authenticity. And then lastly, the higher self card, which I love. You were just talking about your higher self, and this is so important, especially for people that are new to this. It's like you have a part of you that is your purest positive potential, called your higher self. And when you allow yourself to connect with it more intentionally, because you can always feel it. That's what we're always chasing. Right? We're always chasing. That's where our goals come from. It's to achieve the experience of our highest self. But not all people realize that that's what we're really doing. And so when you do, you become more clear on how to get there. It says your purest positive potential is present as a guide for you to help you become all you came here to be. You are being called to communicate and specifically connect with your higher self at this time for the guidance and clarity that you need, particularly regarding your soul power. And the affirmation is, I open my heart to receive guidance from my higher self as it nurtures and uplifts me at this time. And, you know, I call the heart the conscious compass in the intuitive development program that I created, which is actually, it goes with these cards. But, you know, our heart is our conscious compass. It's what leads us to the next thing we're supposed to experience. And our intuition is what speaks through our heart to guide us in that. And so when you open your heart to love, to acceptance, to connecting with your higher self or God in a deeper way, and other beings, then you end up getting guided down the path of realizing what's out there and what's here to support you.
Man, I mean, I just can't wait for people to see the synchronicities in these cards and how they gonna like help them out. Like, when you understand that and how they come in, the way that you're gonna feel after you feeling like certain spirits or whatever. Like, I just can't wait for people to see them. Real quickly, I want to touch on channeling.
Yes, for sure.
Because people don't know a lot about channeling. They just think people are possessed or something of that nature, but most of them never even seen a channel or don't know what a channel is. Can you please tell them what a channel is?
Yeah, so a channel is essentially someone who is able to get into a state of trance enough to eliminate all biases, judgment, doubt, and fear, and stand purely in connection to spirit, so much so that they're able to allow spirit to speak through them, move through them, and, you know, maneuver through them. And it's not a possession. It's different. Like, possession is more of like the person doesn't have any control. Like, the spirit has completely taken over that person's sovereignty and willpower. And that's much more of a diabolical, like, dark kind of energy experience. But with channeling is the intentional purifying of your channel, opening up your channel and connecting that with source so that you become a vessel for source to speak through, or for beings that are of the highest vibration to speak through. And so I always channel, you know, beings of the highest love and light. I always set that intention every time I do channel. And honestly, channeling started happening, you know, involuntarily for me. Like, I didn't want to be a channel. I wasn't interested in that. I was learning about channeling at the time, and then started having really intense channeling experiences. And in the beginning, I wasn't able to control it. Like, I would start channeling in the grocery store and stuff, and I'm like, what's going on? And so I was able to kind of gain more control, because it wasn't so much that it was taking over me, but it was more so me not knowing. It's like when you see Spider-Man, like, he realizes he has this power, and it's like, like he's like spinning webs everywhere, and he's like, what's going on? It was kind of like that. It was like, okay, I can control this, but how? How do I control this? And how do I interact with this happening to me? And then when I met Bashar, Daryl Anka, I was able to talk to Daryl Anka about what was happening to me, because it was happening at that moment, at that time in my life. And he was able to tell me, like, you know, you are a channel, you know, everybody can access this, but some people access it accidentally or more potently than others. And the best thing to do is to just set a specific time and place for you to channel, and then start practicing that, because that's what ends up helping you get used to it. And so I've been able to channel a lot of different beings: Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, Gandhi, Archangel Michael, a lot of galactic beings, the Arcturians, just a lot of different beings of the highest love and light, and get messages from them directly. And I'm a trance channel, so there's different types of channeling. Some people can walk around, like Abraham Hicks, she walks around and can keep her eyes open and look around. I tend to enjoy keeping my eyes closed, because it just helps me focus. But often my channeling out, my mannerisms will change. My voice sometimes changes, not as much as dramatically as it used to, because I think I've integrated it more now. But and then the energy in the room really shifts. So the difference in channeling to like giving a reading is that my clients can directly speak with that spirit, that energy that's coming through me. And sometimes I'll remember all of it. Sometimes I'll only remember pieces when I come out of it, because a lot of times it feels like I'm kind of sitting in the back seat of my consciousness and letting spirit drive. And I can kind of hear, you know, like when you're in the back seat, you can kind of hear the conversation in the front, but not always. It's kind of like that. So, but then I can usually still reference the conversation after, because spirit will like kind of give me the ability to hear or see what was going on at the time. So I don't know if that answers your question too much or not enough.
Absolutely. No, exactly where it needs to be. And to understand that people can come to your website and they can get these things done to them, right? I mean, you will help them. Yeah. So that's what I mean.
I can teach people how to access their gifts and open their channel, and everybody's channel opens differently and everybody's gifts are different. So, you know, you can develop your gifts, you can develop clairvoyance, you can develop the ability to see spirit or hear spirit or sense it, or channel, but it just may come through a different way because you're a unique vessel, right? And so I teach people how to do that, but then I also provide channeled sessions and past life regressions and stuff for the people that are just wanting to get, you know, a reading and kind of see what it's about first.
So how do I get to you?
Yeah, www.rissavibes.com. That's my website. You can book directly through there, and the one-on-one readings, all the reading schedules are set for Eastern time. So just keep that in mind. And then you can also do like a consultation for coaching or counseling if that's something you feel like you're interested in. And also my Instagram is Rissa Vibes Official for like kind of my hub of stuff. And then TikTok is Rissa Vibes. Yeah. And then my music's on all streaming services under Rissa Vibes as well.
That's dope. And we gotta cut out of here, but we definitely gotta do this again, because really we haven't tapped into 25% of like what I really wanted to tap into. So we're gonna have to figure this out, how to get you back on. But one thing real quick is you talked about Bashar. So talk about the hybrids. How many have you met?
Well, I'm sure I've met more than I think. But I've seen specifically a reptilian hybrid, like in real life, shapeshift in front of me, which is actually kind of a bit wild. But I would consider, I mean, it depends on what you mean by a hybrid, because there's starseeds who identify as human and they know they're human like myself, but I'm very much connected to my galactic.
So you are starseed?
For sure.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I knew something was going on.
I'm much familiar with the Earth than I
knew something was going on.
Space feels much more comforting to me as home than Earth. So I guess I'm kind of a hybrid in that sense, that I'm human, but I'm more connected to my galactic lineage. But then there's also people on Earth that are humanoid and also have a lot of physical access to their galactic origin, which is kind of a little different. So,
and that's why I look at you, because look, you got the perfect skin, the tall, the perfect hair, the teeth, the attitude, the connection to. I'm telling you, I was like, she definitely is, because they just don't make them like that down here. That's some type of star child right there, gotta be. And it's,
I mean, 6 foot tall and like
right,
super psychic is kind of a giveaway. I don't think
like, come on now, like, yeah, okay, you got us. No, I'm joking, but no, thank you so much for everything, for being on here. Everybody, please go get those cards. Please get a reading. Please get all the information that you can so you can be yourself. Those are the cards right there. They come with a holder. Just go see it, because it's going to take you to exactly where you need to go. But I'm going to leave you as I always leave you. All that is a puzzle, and you are your authentic puzzle piece. You cannot fit into anyone else's spot. You must be yourself. And all that is can't be all that is unless you fit in your spot. So be yourself. It's the easiest thing in the world. Being somebody else is the hardest. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next week.
Check. 1, 2 for the mind state. Dez Cortez and Emory Law. Welcome to the show. Y'all tuned in now. Hit record, time to make it real. This that one show, mentally ill. We don't hide, we just chill. We say the kind of things that you feel. Raw talk from the couch to the curb. Every dark thought from the city to the burbs. From panics on Belle Isle, we even picking up calls. We unpack it all, no mask, no filter at all. Dez say, how you been? Low say, man, where I begin. From meds on the sink to nights you overthink. We drag it to the light, let it blink.
This is mentally ill. Say it out loud till it pop like the steel. We ain't running from the pain. We